This is really, really tight. I don't think I've ever been in such an enclosed space in a VR game before. Ah! Let's begin! Intruders Hide and Seek basically puts you right in the middle of a thriller movie. The game begins with you returning home with your family. This is where we learn the basics of the family's dynamics, and it does help to make the events that occur later on that little bit more impactful. You actually play as a boy child of this family, and if you have played a lot of first person VR games, it can take a little while adjusting to your actual height in the game, as you are lower down than normal. You play the game with the DualShock controller, and the game's movement control options are amazing. You can free turn and free move, and the game has a great selection of things that you can toggle on or off. The only issue I did have was the fact that you must push down the analog stick to run. I've always found that method a bit fiddly in games. After the family introduction, people turn up at your house and trap you inside. This is where the main stealth gameplay comes into effect. You must avoid these intruders by crouching and moving slowly around in the shadows. Your family has been split up into different rooms of the house, but because of your size, you do have access to them, thanks to you being able to squeeze between tight spaces. Your family gives you tasks to complete, which are basically fetch quests, but they do suit this game, considering it revolves around being trapped in a house. You actually get used to the layout of the expensive looking house quite quickly. If you ever do get lost though, and need to search a certain type of room for an item, you can bring up the map at any time, which displays room icon guides. The house's atmosphere is incredible. Light shines from intruders' torches, rain and thunder can be heard from outside the windows, and the shadows coming from the objects that you shine your torch on look great. It's actually a pretty good looking game overall, and quite creepy. The intruders on the other hand, can lose the same sense of fear though, the more you play through the game. Their models don't look ultra realistic, and their overall style is ever so slightly cartoony. It did hurt the intensity of the situation for me as I progressed. The intensity does ramp up if they spot you though, as you must run and hide in a closet or underneath something. When you are in a hiding spot, you must shake the DualShock controller in time with the heartbeat. It's a bit nerve-wracking. If you do get caught, you will have to restart from a checkpoint, and it can be a bit tedious simply walking back around the house again. This was when I started taking more notice of the intruders' awareness levels, and how far I could be away from them whilst running. It just broke the immersion for me a bit. What is incredibly immersive though, is that these three intruders are always walking around different parts of the house. It all seems quite realistic, and it's great to see a stealth game that doesn't contain the same copied and pasted enemy to avoid. These people also each have personalities, which plays a heavy part in the storyline. It's actually a very story heavy game, and there are some lengthy cutscenes here. Once again, it really does feel like you're in the middle of a thriller movie. I'm not going to go too much into detail about the storyline, as I really think it's best learnt for yourself. There is some exploration to be had within the house itself. Some objects can be picked up to take a closer look at, and collectibles do make an appearance. Documents, emails, and jigsaw puzzle pieces can be found. The emails are a nice touch, as they pop up on computers over time. It does give that extra sense that this terrifying event is all occurring in the space of one night time. The actual real time it took me to beat the game was around 2 hours, and it doesn't have too much of a demanding trophy list to receive the platinum. But there are a few things you must do. You will receive trophies for beating each chapter of the game, collecting all the collectibles, and there are some here for using certain things in the world. A whole lot of these will unlock naturally. The main time consuming ones are for the collectibles. It is a very doable platinum. I actually quite enjoyed this game, even though my fear of the intruders did degrade over time. That being said, the house's shadowy visuals made sure I was still in a pretty unnerved state from start to finish. The stealth mechanics and actual enemy AI are quite basic, but their placements in the home itself just makes the experience feel so much more realistic. Overall, if you go in expecting a B-rated movie script and want to actually feel like you're in a thriller movie, I don't think you'll be disappointed here. It wasn't quite as intense as what I was expecting it to be, but looking back on it as a whole, I do recommend it. It's not going to blow you away, but it's still a great couple of hours of entertainment. What's he wearing?
Kids, let me in.
It's not quite as intense as what I was expecting after watching some of the trailers, but it's still a very decent ride. As always, if you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.